Welcome into the bunker of General Gridiron, Field Marshal of Football Forecasting. We're about to map out the way this college football weekend is gonna go. Will your favorite team be marching to victory, or will the enemy be taking your battle flag? Halloween was just a few weeks back, and if you didn't get your fill of sugar, well, you're in luck. It's college football's annual Cupcake Weekend, where many Power 5 schools dial it down a notch and play FCS schools prior to next week's rivalry weekend. But the General ain't no cupcake, so you better grab your helmet and man those battle stations. We're ready for another round of General Gridiron's football foretelling. Ole Miss at Vanderbilt. Rebel fans got a glimpse of the future last Saturday when Doc Brown pulled up to Vaught Hemingway with Marty McFly at Shea Patterson, and the future looks good. The struggling Rebs hit 88 miles per hour on their way to a big road win over the faux military boys in College Station. Part 2 of the saga will take place in Nashville against Biff and the 4-6 Commodores of Vandy. Sit back and watch the hotty-toddy offense return from the side of the milk carton back to perfect photographic quality. And the Confederate Bears turn Nash Vegas into Hill Valley. The Generals victor, Ole Miss. Oklahoma State at TCU. The number 13 Pokes are coming off a miraculous last-second win over the South Plains Bandits from Lubbock. A missed extra point sealed the deal for the Manly Mullets. And as a result, the Big 12 trophy is within reach of pistols firing. But wait, before the hated Prairie rivals line up to play Bedlam, the formerly formidable Froggies lurk in Cowtown. The blood-firing Lizards are almost out of juice this season, but Gary Patterson is a master motivator of mobile matriculation. Look for the Toads to be ready, but Mason Rudolph and Pistol Pete are crack shots. The Generals victor, Lizards lose, Oklahoma State. Virginia Tech at Notre Dame. Hokie High has been up and down, like the Smoky Hills surrounding beautiful southwest Virginia. Gobbler coach Justin Fuente left Graceland behind and has shown some of the resurgence we have come to expect from the Blacksburg Birds. Meanwhile, the Irish have been absolutely horrendous at 4-6. The NBC darlings of every Saturday of every year are struggling to stay close to any opposition. VPI is still barely in the ACC race, and they need Irish luck to keep the Thanksgiving turkeys from getting restless. The Generals victor, Va-Tech rolls. Kansas State at Baylor. Fall may be the time for bountiful harvest, and Thanksgiving may be a celebration of feast with friends and family, but the Baylor Bears are celebrating Christmas early, tarp shopping. The Bears can almost fill the commode on the Brazos when their undefeated and crimes are going uninvestigated. But with more than 0 losses tainting their record and the starting signal caller out due to injury, there's sure to be thousands of rabid Bear fans disguised as empty seats on Saturday. This will make for a nice, quiet backdrop for a Wildcat win. The Generals victor, K-State. Washington State at Colorado. Quick show of hands. Who thought Washington State at Colorado would determine the best team in the Pac-12? Anyone with their hands raised? I'll put them down and drop an extra 10 in the offering plate this Sunday because you're lying. Mike Leach started the year with a couple of horrendous losses, but his brash crew of Buccaneers have created a monster on the Palouse. In Boulder, Ralphie is reborn. The cellar dwellers from Colorado are now the raging hairy bulls of the Rocky Mountains. The Buffs are a balanced team, but the Pirates from Pullman can simply blow the scoreboard up. The Generals victor, Wazoo. Just ahead, we'll take a look at the ACC Atlantic pillow fight taking place between Clemson and Wake Forest. Can the Deacs pull off another upset of Dabo's Dandies? And down on the bayou, old Hurricane Matthew couldn't come between the cross-divisional feud Florida and LSU have each season. Don't go anywhere. General Gridiron will be right back.
Because you want more flavor, at Nuke's we marinate and grill to perfection. Because you want the latest culinary tastes and trends, we never rest. At Nuke's, great food drives us. So we are meticulous in our preparation, obsessed with the quality of our ingredients, and uncompromising about serving you our very best. We believe that sharing a memorable meal is one of life's ultimate pleasures. Join us at Nuke's Eatery.
Howdy, soldiers. This is General Gridiron back with you. Each week, this fabulous football forecast is heard on some of the finest radio stations all over the region where college football shakes the Southland, including WLIL AM 730 in Lenoir City, Tennessee, the radio home of the Lenoir City Panthers, and Oldies 101.5 FM and WJLX AM 1240, Jasper, Alabama. We appreciate all of our radio affiliates. Now, let's get back into the football fight. Arkansas at Mississippi State. November is Brett Bielema time, typically, but the wild Ozark pigs are still an unknown quantity at this point. The razor swine have appeared both fierce and domesticated on a week-to-week basis. In Starkville, the glory has crashed down hard on the Ag School in North Mississippi. Dan Mullen's shorts set the tone for a sloppy lack of discipline from the bullies, and it hasn't gotten better. The high point of the season was followed up with a pachyderm pounding by the Tuscaloosa Tide. Arkansas is better than State, and they will line up and show it at Scott Field. The Generals victor, Arkansas. USC at UCLA. What is there to say about this clash of has-beens? The men of Troy have bounced back to become an above-average also-ran in the West Coast Football League, while the outspoken Josh Rosen has had his pride and his body injured this season. Look for the seats to be half empty and the passion somewhere below the post-game trip to In-N-Out Burger. USC has talent, and it has shown recently. In this one, Traveler the Trojan Horse rolls into Westwood and gallops to victory. The Generals victor, USC. Clemson at Wake Forest. November is typically a time for Thanksgiving, but in Clemson, South Carolina, it's a season for Thanksgrieving after the hopes and dreams of the Tiger Paws were crushed by the Steel City upstarts. How will the rock worshippers handle a possible boot from the playoff race? Will the demonic clergy of Wake Forest be able to gather enough Clemson tears to quench their thirst? Look for Dabo's resilient group to rally and squeak by a scrappy slew of satanic swamis and firmly back into the playoff driver's seat. The Generals victor, Clemson. Oklahoma at West Virginia. Baker Mayfield is confident. The Sooner Schooner is fired up, and the two-headed tailback tandem are ready to plow the plains. However, the WVU Mountaineers control their own destiny in the Big 12 Conference. The ever-complaining gunslinger for the Land Thieves plays well in Norman, but the Mountaineer fans will be lit up on White Lightning and howling through the Appalachians when the Oklahomans come to destroy their hopes and dreams. But dreams die hard in Morgantown, and the Ears defense is mountain tough. The Generals victor, West Virginia. Florida at LSU. The Gators have no problem with defense, but the Swamp Monsters' offense has been cold-blooded until recently. The Bayou Bengals look improved, but Coach O also appears to be stumped by the notion of a toothy offensive game plan. While Baton Rouge mourns Mike the Tiger, the Gators bring an unknown quantity to Red Stick. Look for LSU to win a squeaker for Mike in this Hurricane Matthew delayed game. The Generals victor, LSU Fighting Tigers. Alrighty, that's the best of the lot on this weekend of not-so-wonderful matchups. But hang on to your helmet. There's more of the show coming up. We'll be back in just a second to wrap up this week's General Gridiron with our rapid-fire picks. This is General Gridiron back with you. We've already maneuvered through this Week 12 lineup of frontline college football showdowns. Now it's time to fix bayonets and storm the field with our rapid-fire football forecast. Pittsburgh pounds Duke. Alabama rolls past Chattanooga. Oregon State defeats Arizona. Kentucky becomes bowl eligible against Austin Peay. Florida State sideswipes Syracuse. Central Arkansas upsets undefeated Sam Houston State. Georgia sinks Louisiana Lafayette's P-Row. South Carolina spurs Western Carolina. Ohio State massacres Michigan State. Texas A&M runs past the UTSA Roadrunners. Wisconsin bests Purdue. Richmond bites William & Mary. Michigan gets back on track against Indiana. The Citadel upsets number 24 North Carolina. Tennessee trees a Missouri Tiger. Georgia Tech stings Virginia. Utah obliterates Oregon. Georgia Southern looks pretty peachy against Georgia State. Auburn shows off against Alabama A&M. and the NC State Wolfpack scratch Miami. Well, troops, you can now put your swords back in their scabbards. We're all out of picks on this week's edition of General Gridiron. We'll be back again next week. Same General Gridiron time, same General Gridiron station. So don't forget to tune us in on the radio, Facebook, and on YouTube TV. And don't forget to tell your friends all about the show. Simply search for General Gridiron. This is John Rawl, the General of Gridiron Glory, thanking you for letting me be a part of your Cupcake Matchups weekend. This show was written by the Honorable Matt Heermans. General Gridiron is a production of CRM Sports. For more, log on to crmsports.com.
That'll be all.